This month I was supposed to buy a house and failed, but I did discover my neighbours are awful, so let's talk about that instead. I'm dealing with a lot at the moment, and it's my birthday in 26 hours, so I don't have a lot of time to do this podcast. I've made a lot of notes, and hopefully it'll be pretty quick. Then again, every other time I've made a lot of notes, it's actually ended up longer, so maybe it won't. Hopefully though, it'll at least be easier to edit. Last Monday, I was supposed to have a meeting about finally actually transferring the ownership of the house to me. Despite doing all the work on the house, it's actually still within my uncle's name. It's not a big deal because it's still my family. We're finally getting it sorted. That meeting was supposed to be in the afternoon, so my wife and I just went for a wander around the shops in the morning. Just something to do before that started, and then we went to the house, because that was where the meeting was going to take place. And then when we got there was just water pouring out on the back walls. That obviously isn't what you want. It was pouring out of the wall that connects my house to next door, so it's a terrace house, which means it's like a house with houses either side of it that are attached. So it was pouring in through the wall that connected my house to next door's house. So I go around there and knock on the door to try and be like, have you got a leak? Because we've got water coming in the house. And the woman comes to the door, looks me in the face, locks the door in front of me, and then walks off. So I'm already not in the best of moods because there's water pouring into my fucking house. And then the woman does that. So I just start booting her door. And eventually she comes back and she's like, do I know who you are? And I was like, no, you don't. But I need to talk to you because there's water pouring into my fucking house. Not the best way to meet the neighbours. Eventually it turns out that she's like the daughter of whoever lives there, and the mother isn't going to be back for like 6 hours. And I'm like, yeah, that's not really good enough. I already knew that the house was like rented, so I managed to get in contact with the people who they were renting off, and they sent some people round to find out what the problem was. They ended up coming around to me first because they wanted to find out what the damage was like on the inside of mine. So they came around and took pictures, and we spoke for a little bit, and then they went round to there and had a look, and then they ended up coming back to me and showing me pictures of the inside of their house afterwards, because what had happened is their gutter at the back of the house has broken and it was pouring water into the cavity wall between houses. So it's been doing it for no one knows how long, for quite a while though. It's just started affecting my house, but has apparently affected their house to the point where like there's bits of their rooms where they don't have floor because it's gotten so wet that the floorboards have rotted away, and they just never bothered contacting anyone. They've basically destroyed their house just through not looking after it, and it's now affecting my house. So, and then on top of all this, the people I'm supposed to be having a meeting with about buying the house didn't even turn up. So, I get to be doubly angry that day. They say that they'll fix the gutter when they can, and kind of allude to helping me fix mine, which is their responsibility as far as I'm concerned anyway, but not really heard much from about them. But it's now been nearly 2 weeks, and they've not fixed anything yet. It's just getting worse because every time it rains, more water's coming in, so it's just making the problem worse. And then, because the house is still in my uncle's name, my uncle's the one who's got the house insurance, and he's got the worst possible house insurance, so they've said they won't cover the damages. And I'm like, well, what is the point in having house insurance? Now, the only benefit to this is that, at the moment, I don't actually own the house, so part of me is just like, I don't really care what happens to it, I'll just walk away. But another part of me is like, well, I could finish the transfer process and then sell it, and that way I get my money back, and whatever else out of it, but I have to stay living here, which, I don't know, part of it is easier, but another part of it is awful because of all the reasons why we wanted to leave in the first place. We just need more space, it's really loud here, but I don't know. We haven't really decided what we want to do, but the biggest deal is that the 2 rooms that it's affected the most, because it's basically that entire corner of the house all the way up, so each floor of the house in that corner is like soaking wet basically, and the 2 rooms it's affected the most are the 2 rooms that were actually finished. So the rooms that were the best for us to move into now need even more work doing. We don't even know when we're going to be able to do that work. Part of me just wants to give up. I just don't know. We ended up having to move a lot of our stuff out. Most of it's fine, to be honest. A couple of bits got a bit wet, but they seem to have dried. There is one, I have a giant plush octopus, and it's simultaneously a good thing and a bad thing. That was right in the corner where the majority of the water was. Now, it's a bad thing, because obviously that means it got wet, and it's got the most wet. But it's also a good thing because it absorbed most of the water, which meant that very little else got damaged. But like, I'm going to need to replace floorboards and replace part of the ceiling and replace at least all the wallpaper, if not the plaster. It's going to take weeks to dry out. But that would be if it was already fixed and not still getting wet. But it's still getting wet. Every time it rains, it's still getting wet. I just don't know what to do. So I'm spending a lot of my time dealing with that. And then I got sick. And then I've got to arrange we've got to go on a trip next month. But it's part of my wife's university course. She's finishing a PhD, and the university are being dicks about it. And there's just so much going on right now, and I just don't want to deal with any of it, but I have to, and I'm just don't know what to do, really. But that's why I ended up having that video last week, which was not what I planned to make, but it was the only thing I had time to make. And then it's also why this podcast is probably going to end up being pretty quick, because I think this is the only thing I'm going to talk about, and then this and channel updates. Speaking of channel updates. So I'm actually changing a few things around this month. We're not going to be starting another Yakuza, just because I know that that's going to take more than a month anyway, so I'm going to leave that till January. I'm not going to have much time to record it this month, because, like I say, it's my birthday, then Christmas, then we've got all this work to do with the house, plus we've got to take that trip, so it's just recording another LP like that is going to be really awkward. I'm also not starting a new LP in the evenings, or at least not a normal one. I've been playing a lot of RuneScape, and I wanted to make more RuneScape videos, so what I'm going to do is I'm just recording myself doing the quests, and I'm just going to put those up. The reason I'm saying it's not a normal LP is because, for one thing, I'm probably never going to become a member, or at least that's not a plan. So I will never do all of the quests. Some of the quests I might just never feel like doing. I'm just kind of recording them as I feel like it at the moment. I've recorded 5 so far, so I'm just kind of recording them, and I'm going to put them up in the place of the evening LP, but it's not like a full LP, because like I say, I'm probably never going to finish it. I'm just going to do as many as I feel like and then stop. I'm just going to do those until January, and then I'll probably start a proper LP again in January. But yeah, and then after that, it might just be a thing I put out a video or two when I feel like it. Like maybe between LPs, I'll do like a week of RuneScape, something like that. I don't know, but that's kind of the plan. The main reason is I can't justify paying for 2 MMOs at once, and I don't want to drop 14. Maybe one day I'll like grind my way to a bond, or maybe I'll get one as a present or something, because like I say, it's my birthday and Christmas, so maybe I'll get a membership then. I don't know, but that's kind of the plan for now. So I'll be starting that soon. That'll just stop when I feel like it, and carry on when I feel like it. Speaking of MMOs though, 14 is dropping 7.4 in December, but I'm not going to be able to stream it right away. The trip that I'm taking, that I've mentioned, we're coming back on the 16th, which is the day that comes out. So I might stream it later in the day, depending on what time we get back, but probably not. I'll probably just start on a Wednesday, so I'm only going to be missing like a day of it. It's not really a big deal. It does feel a bit weird, because it'll actually be the first patch I've missed since I started playing. Those patch streams will also be my last streams for the year. I usually take a break around Christmas, so I'll be doing that again. I think the last thing is that my video for December will be my Game of the Year 2024 list, but I've already decided that I'm going to swap it with my podcast. So where my podcast is usually the last Friday of the month and my video is the Friday before, I'm definitely swapping them again. I might even swap it further than that. My Game of the Year list is either going to be the last Friday of December or the very last video of this year. We'll see how close I am to having it done, because there's at least like 20 or so games to talk about, possibly more. And even now, I don't have particularly strong feelings what I'm going to put as my Game of the Year. I feel like I should, but I just don't. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Special thanks to all of my patrons. You can join them over at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, and for $1 a month, you'll get to see what I'm working on early, wallpapers for all of my LPs, exclusive roles in my Discord, and any other rewards I might think of. You can also just follow me there if you want to for free, as it's probably the best place to see all of my content as soon as it's available. There's links to the Patreon, along with my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other podcast platforms in the description of this episode. Finally, don't forget you can email me using podencastby@gmail.com if you've got anything you want to say. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter @Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.